your mind. Crystal blue persuasion. It's a new vibration. Crystal blue persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion. Maybe tomorrow, when he looks down, every green field, every town, all of his children, every nation, there'll be peace and good. Crystal blue persuasion.
All right, that was Crystal Blue Persuasion from 1969. Tommy James and the Chandrells. Some of you are old enough to remember that. Listen to those words. It's a new day coming. Awesome. Well, this is the new day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. If you're on the Zoom room this morning, go ahead and type something in the chat so I can make sure the chat is working. For those of you out here on the YouTube channel, welcome to you. I can see the chats there. Good morning, Peaceful One. I'm glad you are with us this morning. I'm going to encourage everyone to make sure that if you're live this morning, that if you have a question, if you have something to say, go ahead and type it in the chat at the backside of this morning's conversation or teaching. We'll open up the green room, so stick around for the get down. I want to also, for those of you who are the first time viewers, welcome. I am Asar, also known as Greg Stanton, or Greg, or PG, that stands for Pastor Greg, for those who've been with me for a very long time. If you are a YouTuber this morning, make sure you hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell to be notified in the future when there are teachings going on. Lastly, visit the banner that's up there on the Oasis YouTube channel, and you'll find the email that you can click on to get handouts. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop that email over into both chats. 1 second here. There it is. It's in the YouTube channel. And now let me put it here. I'm not seeing any feedback on the chat in the YouTube this morning. I mean, on the Zoom room this morning. I'm not sure if something is going on there, but if someone can type something in so I can make sure that the type that we can see. Let me see here. I want to, let me set my chat here. Hosts and panelists, everyone. Okay, there you go. Let's see now. Try to send me a chat if you could, everyone. I'm not seeing the chat. That's interesting. So we'll work that out next week. I will come on a little earlier so we can make sure that the chat is working as designed, because I want to make sure that you all can participate. So let me do this. I'm going to open up right now. Courtney, how are you doing this morning? Can you see the chat?
The chat is disabled, and I have a lot of background noise.
On your side or my side?
I have a lot of background noise on my side, but your chat is disabled. I can't leave a chat.
Okay, let me try something else. Thanks a lot. Okay, good. Let me try one more thing, guys. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we're not going to let that stop our show this morning. I want you all to know I see you. Thank you for those of you who have joined in the Zoom room this morning. Good morning, Trinity. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Roz. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Alan. Now, if you want to, you have to. If you want to drop something in the chat, make sure you go on over to the YouTube in the chat. Make sure you go on over to the YouTube channel. If you go to Oasis Spiritual Center, their YouTube channel is live, and I can see the chat on that side. So I see right now there's a few people over there. So if you're on the YouTube, go ahead and drop in how you're doing this morning. Excellent, excellent. So we're going to operate like that. So I can't see the chats. On the Zoom room, I can see you in the Zoom room. If you're raising your hand, I can see you. So if you do have a question or something you want me to address at the end of this morning's presentation, you can just raise your hand and I will be able to address that. Good. I see some people now popping over onto the YouTube channel and expressing. Erica, good to see you this morning. So let us just jump right on into this morning's teaching. Again, welcome you all. We have been dealing with the power of our words. The Kemetic word for that is Hekau. The Kemetic term Hekau for words of power. Basically, the Nile Valley civilization or spiritual system they understood words of power. Your world is framed by the words you speak. That is the ability to invoke or bring into existence that which is a possibility. Notice it's a possibility. When you speak something into existence, it's a possibility. Why do I say it's a possibility? Because not only can you speak something into existence, but you can also kill the possibility of that thing you have spoken. So this week, I'm introducing you, my viewers, participants, to the power of our words. Hekau is the Kemetic term for words of power, the ability to invoke into existence that which is possible. So this morning, we're talking about, I'm introducing you to the concept of magnetized mouth, of a magnetized mouth. This is a crucial concept that causes crucial conflict in many of your lives, that you must understand the power of your tongue. You must understand that your mouth is an instrument that shifts the course of your current reality. That is important, that you understand your mouth is magnetized. Now, in the Navy, we used to have a term called loose lips sink ships, or we had a term we would speak when someone is sharing too much information, when someone is disclosing things that doesn't necessarily have to be disclosed. Loose lips sinks ship. So we're dealing with your lips, your tongue, your words from the perspective of they are instrumental. They are the tools you use in order to create, to manifest the world you desire. Now, many of us are not so familiar with that. And as a result, we just say all kinds of things. We let any and everything come out of our mouths. Well, we have to be very careful with that, because what comes up and comes out is the very thing that could defile you or work against you. For the word says, is not what goes into a person that defiles them. So it's not necessarily what comes in that defiles you. Now, you are garbage in, ultimately garbage is going to come out. But what comes out of you is what defiles you, what you say. Proverbs tells us, 18:21, that the power of the tongue is this. The tongue has the power of life and death, and that those who love it will eat its fruit. Now, notice, it says, and those who love it, another way of saying it is those who understand it will eat its fruit. Now, here's the thing. Whether it's good fruit or bad fruit is up to you. You have to understand that your tongue magnetizes your life, meaning what comes into your life comes by way of the vibrational frequency that goes out of you and travels through the words spoken and returns to you. You will eat your words. Now, you ever heard that? You're going to eat your words one day. We always eat our words. There's no way around it. What you put out comes back. Now, Genesis tells us a very important truth that we must be mindful of. Genesis 8:22 says to us, as long as the earth endures, and some of your Bibles say, as long as the earth remains, that it will be what? Now, this is key. As long as the earth remains, it will be seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease. We just came out of a night. For many of you who are viewing with me now in North America, you just came out of the night. Many of us are dealing right now with summer in North America, extreme heat. In other parts of the world, they may be dealing with winter. Cold and heat will always remain, endure. As long as the earth endures, as long as the earth remains, you're going to have the season. Now, here's the piece that I want you to focus on this morning. It says, as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest. Basically what it says, the ecosystem that we live in, whatever we plant, we're going to harvest. Whatever you speak, you're going to receive. This is an essential law. Seed time, harvest. What you say can either make or ruin your day. So what do you need to know? Your words are powerful. Your words are power. Your words are your power. Your words hold energy and intention. Now, a person who just speaks words without intention is the person that is the fool. The word says you can tell a fool by the multitudes of words they speak. Talking loud and not saying anything. Got to be mindful of that. Talking loud and not saying anything. You know, back in the day when we were kids, we would say people selling wolf cookies. You know, that person usually ended up getting the pumpkin head, usually up getting beat up or chased home because they're saying things that causes something to come back to them that they're not ready for. You know, we hear words like don't write a check that your mouth can't cash. No, don't write a check that your gluteus maximus can't cash. Okay? So your words hold energy and intention. That is what I want you to be mindful of, that what you speak. Now, here, let me show you an example. This battery that you see in my hand, this is a AAA battery. It holds energy. It has a positive charge and a negative charge. Okay. This thing has the ability to bring life to whatever is put into and allows it to operate. So it's an energy holder. Your words are energy holders. Your words have a negative and a positive charge, and your words will return to you, not void. Okay, like the word says, the words God speaks never return to it void. Okay, and your words are the gateway to manifesting a life that represents your highest and greatest good. By understanding and connecting with the connections between vibrations, energy, and our spoken words, we can begin to harness the power of manifestation. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about manifestation. We're talking about words power. We're talking about speech. We're talking about the tongue. And we're talking about what it takes to bring something into fruition. Before words, there are thoughts. And we're going to deal next month with thoughts. This month, we're dealing with the power of our words. Now, because you have a word that come up that don't come out and it doesn't do anything. Or a thought. But if you have a thought that you're continually thinking, even though you don't allow that thought to come out, that thought eventually impacts your feeling state. And if that thought is impacting your feeling state, that thought has magnetized you. See, we're magnetized by the thoughts and the words we speak. We live in a world of energy and vibrations. We, as living and breathing beings, are made up of energy. We're made up of a divine masculine energy and divine what? Feminine energy, okay? What we eat, where we live, what we read, and how we process information all play important roles in the creation of our energetic fields. So your energy is impacted by what you allow to come into you, and it builds up, and eventually it comes out of you. Now, every morning, I encourage you. There's something I listen to, and it goes like this: things are always working out for me. So if I am ever feeling, let's say if my energy level is low, not energy, my creative level, if I'm feeling somewhat oppressed, depressed, or if I'm feeling concerned, perplexed, maybe I got a couple bills that I don't know how I'm going to be able to retire there, and it's heavy on me, or my children has requested or put a demand on me that I really want to fulfill, but I don't see how. It's not for me to see how. It's just for me to know how. It's important that I know that I have what I asked for, and I have not because I ask not. And if I do ask and I don't get it, I'm asking amiss. And so what we have to understand is how we feel can be shifted, because you cannot create those things that represents your highest and greatest good when you're not feeling well, when you're feeling sad, when you have a low frequency running through you. The things that you desire are on a higher frequency. The things that represent your highest and greatest good are not at that low vibrational part of the spectrum. You got to get your vibration up. You got to get your frequency up, and see your frequency is determined by what you are thinking about frequently. Frequency is affected by frequently. Frequently what? Your frequent thoughts. Your frequent thoughts will either increase your vibrational frequency or decreases it. So that's a golden nugget. Frequency impacted by frequently. Frequency impacted by what I think frequently. So sometimes you need to spend some time watching your thought as well. What is showing up in your life is a vibrational match to what you're saying. You're magnetizing your world, your life, by the things you are saying. What you speak. The word says, you shall decree a thing and it shall be. That is not even what you ask. The word decree is different from ask. Asking is a petition. Decreeing is a declaration. Many times our affirmations are declarations. And so we're going to look at that at some point between this week and next week, and probably next week, because it's important that you know that affirmations is a great way to maintain your frequency, to shift back to the frequency. But if you have affirmations, which are just hopeful statements, then it's not the same as an affirmation. This is a reaffirming of something you already know. Okay, so we got to know that we are, what goes into us impacts our energetic field. Okay, and although the outside world can play a part in the formation of our well-being, it is our inner dialogue that truly creates our reality. Now, that's called epigenetics. So epigenetics don't only have to be the thing outside of you that turn on that good or bad feeling, but epigenetics can be the internal dialogue. That's why I say it's not your enemy out there, it's the enemy that often becomes our enemy. Okay, oftentimes we forget that we are the creators or co-creators, manifestors of our own reality. Through care and attention we give to our thoughts, words, and energies. So you got to watch your thoughts, you got to watch your words, and always look at your energy. This is how we, when you're paying attention to your words, your thoughts, or let's say your thoughts, your words, and your energy, this is called divine manifestation. Now, what is magnetization? Magnetization. Remember I talked about your mouth is magnetized? So as a transitive verb, magnetization or magnetize is to induce magnetic properties in, to attract like a magnet. Some of you are familiar with this guy from the early, around in the 1800s, there was this gentleman by the name of Mesmer. The term mesmerize, you ever been mesmerized? Mesmerized come from the name of this gentleman who was one of the very first New Thought scientists. He believed that the magnets he had, he understood that magnets were powerful, and he would use these magnets to heal people. And so he began to go around the country and will have great audiences. I forgot his first name, but his name is Mesmer, Mesmer. That's where we get the word mesmerized from. We don't know that. It comes from this gentleman that was known for doing healing exploits. He would have great audiences and people would walk away healed. So one day the story goes that he was off to a healing event, and when he got there, he had left his bag of magnets. And unknowing to the people, he continued to do what he does, or what he did. He prayed for people, laid hands on people, took them through the exercises, but there was no magnets. And the interesting thing is that people were healed without the magnet. And so they began to say they were mesmerized. Now, mesmerization really was the fact that they believed in him. See, that's the power of the belief, the placebo effect. If you believe that a pill is going to do something, even if it's a placebo, you will have that outcome. And so in science, they do, or in the pharmaceuticals, they do blind studies. They use two pills, look exactly alike. One is a placebo, one is not. And they want to see which pill gets the outcome. And many times the outcome is same as or greater than the actual pill with the particular properties in it. The pill that is the sugar pill or the placebo is getting outcomes greater and great as. And then they will say, well, this pill is really operating from the placebo effect and not from the properties of that thing. That's why it's important that you know that your beliefs dictate what happens in your life. Now, that's why I don't really quarrel with people when they say they believe, have a particular religious belief, because if their belief is strong enough, what they believe in, just like those who have a strong enough belief in Christianity and using a name like Jesus, many times they do see outcomes, but also many times they don't see outcomes because they really don't believe. They're going through a procedure with hope. Hope does not get you the manifestation. A knowingness do. Okay? So, though most people know that imagination and visualization are potent tools for powerful manifestation, the power of the word in the creation of our reality is less known. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Biblical example, because vast part of my audience are those who are inside of the spiritual system of Christianity, such as myself, but we have a modified form. We have deconstructed. We get rid of, we don't believe in the myths. We don't believe in the messengers, but we understand the messages. And here in this particular story, never happened, the children of Israel were out in the wilderness, and Source told Moses to assemble the elders and to give them instructions to cross the Jordan into the promised land. Before you, here's something you need to know. Before you ever really get the thing that you really desire, oftentimes you're given a taste or a test to see if you're ready for it, to see if you're a vibrational match to it. So the children of Israel was told to take 12 elders, elders meaning those who were proven, not novices, because God knows if the elders are messed up, the youth are messed up. Or put it like this, if the head is messed up, the body is messed up. The body always goes where the head goes. So he wanted to see what the leaders, the head of Israel, where they were really at. He wanted them to see. It wanted them to see. So the children of Israel were told to assemble the 12 elders, and the elders, which were known as the spies, were told to go into this particular city. And as they crossed the Jordan and went into the city, they saw it was a walled city. And they went into the land, and they did see that it was a land flowing with milk and honey. It was a land that was the good in their sights to be inhabited. It was a tall walled city. It had vegetation that could sustain them. Matter of fact, they took bushels of these grapes, and they were bringing them back as proof. So now, they go into the land, they spy out the land. Now, there's something else they found. In the land that was good, it was already inhabited. Wherever you're going, somebody is already there. Your destiny is always tied to a destination. Whatever source is calling you to, it will give you the ability to have mastery in that place and influence in that place. The place what you are called to will not kill you. It will embrace you if you don't get in the way. So they go into this land, the 12 spies, and they saw all of these things, and then they saw the giants. Now, the giants evidently didn't see them, because if the giants saw them, the giants probably would have destroyed them based on the vibrational frequency they were holding. And I'll come into that shortly. So they come back to the children, to the community, and they called a community meeting. And they begin to unpack what they experienced. They begin to speak what they had experienced. They begin to show the children of Israel what they had experienced. Now, something happens. 10 of the 12 spies reported a but. You know what a but is? Sometimes our but gets in the way. Sometimes we have a strong idea, a source idea, a God idea, but we wonder, but I don't have the money, but I am only. Sometimes your but, there's a stronger word that is one vowel and two syllables. You know what that is. Sometimes it gets in the way. Most times your but. A but is I believe, a conjunction, something we insert that can change the course. So you insert this but, and this is what the children of Israel do. The 10 spies came back and said, yes, the land is flowing with da-da-da-da-da, but here's the contrast. Here's the resistance. Here's the challenge. There are giants in the land. And this is where they got killed. This is where the wind went out of their balloon. This is where the sail no longer was being prepared to capture the wind and flow them into the land, flowing with milk and honey. The leaders, the democratic way, the 10 out of the 12 said, but there was giants in the land. And another conjunction, we were as grasshoppers in their sights. Now that's interesting. We were as grasshoppers in their sights. First of all, you do not know what you are in another sight. That's your projection. They projected onto themselves the likelihood that they were being seen as grasshoppers, small things that could not shift them. See, that's what got David the battle. Remember when David had that interaction with Goliath? In Goliath's eye, he thought he was fighting a kid, a small thing. But in David's eye, because he had fought lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, with the slingshot, if he could beat a natural animal, he knew he could beat a natural man, no matter how tall he was. So how he saw himself was more important than how the giant saw him. But the giant, how he saw David, was more importantly the thing that killed him, because he saw David as an unworthy challenger, opposition. He let his guards down. And all the while he was running his mouth, David was preparing to do what he knew he could do. The weapon of his warfare was not carnal, but mighty to the pulling down of the stronghold of this Philistine that had held the children of Israel at bay. And he released that rock, one of 5 stones. He didn't throw all 5 stones because he knew that he could not lose with the stuff he used. He had 5 smooth stones. Means the stone that was smooth was he had worked it. These was 5 stones that was taken out of the brook. The water had smoothed them out, had worked it out. And I'm saying to you that you got to let the Spirit work your stuff, smooth out what you use. What are you using? Your words. You got to use words of power. Know the power behind your words. And it don't take a lot of words. Just like it only took 1 stone to throw and kill that giant. Now, back to the children of Israel as it pertains to the story of when they went into the land and they saw that the land was flowing with milk and honey, that it was a land good to be inhabited. But 10 of the 12 spies gave a report. Now, here's something you got to be careful of. The democratic way does not operate in the kingdom. The democratic way does not operate in the spiritual realm. It's not based on votes. It's based on the dictates of principles, and too many of us who call ourselves believers at the same time align ourselves with the ways of the world. If the world says it, that settles it. There are certain things that the world has settled in on that are diabolical, that does not represent nature, does not represent God's way. But a source allows us in this realm to have our way. See, Source created us, gave us dominion over this earth. And if it goes to hell in a handbasket because of us, so be it. But you can be in the world that's doing all kind of diabolical things, experiencing all kind of craziness, and not have it part of your reality. You could be in the world and not of the world. As long as you maintain the understanding that you are a divine spiritual being having a human experience. Don't ever slip down into being a human being having a human experience, because you lose. Don't ever become a human being trying to have a spiritual experience, because you won't. You'll have a religious experience. Now, the two spies, Joshua and Caleb, they believed they could. They tried to get the people to move under the frequency of what they had put out there, but because of the negativity has shifted their frequency, the people couldn't. And as a result of that, as a result of what they said, they couldn't. As a result of their butts, they spent 40 years wandering in the wilderness until that entire generation, anybody that was 22 and older, died in the wilderness. What was it saying? Anyone who had a fixed mindset that could not see them setting the giants, they did not get the opportunity to go in. And sometimes we're hanging around people that can't go where we want to go, and we're waiting for them to catch up with them when they will never go there. Sometimes you got to know when to fold them, when to hold them, when to release, when to detach and go alone. Many times what source is calling you to do, your family, your friends can't go with you because they don't hold the frequency. They don't hold the vibration. All they're going to do is cause you to slow down and maybe not be able to get down the road to what represents your highest and greatest good. So words are like orders to the universe, especially when they are spoken with the same frequency you feel when you had it, and have it as a desire, something that you desire. Okay. So when the frequency, when the words that are spoken, it's matched by the feeling, then you have what you desire. If there's not a vibrational match between the word spoken, the frequency of that word, and the frequency of your heart, it's not coming. You have to shift the frequency of your heart so when you're there, you know it because you feel as though it's already happened. And when you feel as though it's already happened, in the meantime, in between time, from it getting from the spiritual realm to the natural realm, what do? You affirm. Affirmations are there for those who already got the feeling and know that between the time of the word spoken and the time of the thing manifesting in the realm in which we live, because notice this realm is seed time and harvest. The natural realm is seed time and harvest. It has a progression. It has an order. The spirit realm has no differentiation between seed time and harvest. When you imagine it, when you speak it, when you desire it, it's in the field of possibility. Now you got to get it from the invisible to the visible realm. That's important. And we have to learn how to do that. Can't do it in a short period of time, but that's what Oasis Spiritual Center for Divine Living is all about. That's what Solutions for Living, SOUL. I'm going to type that in here. So somebody want to go visit that, www.solutionsforliving.com. There it is. If you're on the YouTube channel, it's there. If you are on the, let me type it right here for you too. www.solutionsforliving. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to put it there anyway, just in case some of you can see it. Solutionsforliving.com. That's my website where I do the work with those who want to work. And that is not free. Nothing in life is free. Too many of you are trying to backdoor engineer your success instead of expediting your success by coming alongside of individuals who have done the work, know how to do the work, can report on the work, and help you through the work. You know, there's a lot of people out here who are speaking, what I call them talking heads out on YouTube channels. They're espousing these things but never work that thing. Get up close and personal with them. If you can't look into their lives, or they can't show you when they've done it, how frequently they've done it, then that's not the person for you. A person who knows how to work the laws can give you examples of how the law worked in their lives, when they worked it and it was successful, when they worked it and when it wasn't successful, what they tweaked in order for it to become successful. Don't go for the easy way out. The word tells us that you have 10,000 instructors. There it is. You have over 10,000 media experts, social media experts, gurus, but you have not many instructors. Matter of fact, most of the instructors are not really on Facebook, are not really on the social media. Or if they are on there, they don't spend a lot of time. They don't give you all the tools. They give you just enough for you to be Pied Piper, for you to follow them. You notice, look at the story of Jesus. He taught the masses, and then he shifted to another place. And those who really wanted to know went where he went. Too many of us want it easy. We don't want to leave the masses. The masses are just amassing information. Information won't change you. Information applied transforms you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So this morning, we're talking about magnetizing our mouths, okay? You got to understand, you got to bring what you say into synchronize your mouth with your spiritual self. Synchronize your mouth. Synchronize your thoughts with your divine self, with your I am. Synchronize yourself with your Ka. The Ka in you is the God in you, okay? Desynchronize yourself with your Ba. Desynchronize yourself from your will. Because many times your will have you wanting things that don't represent your highest and greatest good. Synchronize your will to the will of the Father, or the will of Source. I will hold no good thing from those who walk upright before me. The only way you can walk upright, meaning you have ascended to another level, is to be aligned with Source. Now, I've said a lot this morning, and I hope I've said something that's been uplifting and encouraging. I see over on YouTube, JC Majestic Journey, the test prior to the realization of the desire. Yes. Earth School gives you tests. You don't just pass on because you sat in class. It will see, okay, so now you know the law of least resistance. Now you know the law of manifestation. Let's see if you can put it to work. Now, you may be given a simple little test at first, and it happens. But can you maintain it as the tests increase? And it's not until you know the law, that is, you're intimately and can reproduce the law, can you say you know the law. Until the law births something in you, you don't know it. You're familiar with it. You're aware of it. See, awareness doesn't mean mastery. Just because you are aware. People are aware of a lot of things. People are aware of who I am, but they're not in relationship with me. They don't know me. Because you're aware of who I show up as on Facebook, when you get up and close and personal, you'll find he's totally different. Or there's more to him. So awareness, don't be fooled with conscious awareness. Don't be fooled with that stuff. All right, that's all I have this morning. So I'm going to check here, see if I got some hands up. If you are on the Zoom channel, the Zoom room, if you're in the sanctuary with me this morning and you got a question, go ahead and put your hand up. If you're in the YouTube channel, go ahead and type it in and I'll come right there. Hey, Amir, good to see you this morning. First of all, how you doing down there? What's the weather like?
I live in paradise, and in paradise, the weather is always desirable.
Awesome. Okay. That's good.
Notice the usage of my tongue to declare
yes,
and to decree my day.
Yes.
I want to let you know, Miles, you have been an amazing refreshment of water for me. I can't even begin to tell what I was the day before I met you, because now that I've met you, you've made me more intentional with how I reverberate my desires.
Yes.
I've even stopped using the word want
Yes.
because I have no wants, because I have a shepherd within me that's providing for me all that I desire.
Yes.
Is what the question is. What are your heart's desire? And that I will give you.
Yes.
I had to learn that the hard way, because I went around saying, I want this, I want that, I want, and always went without because I wasn't going within. But now that the path within has been illuminated by your teachings, by your presence, by you being Greg, has been illuminating to us all. And because you know who your source, what your source, and why, we too illuminate you. I love you, my friend. I love you very much.
Brother Amir, I love you. Here's something everybody need to really listen to. Replay this when y'all get the chance. He spoke volumes. I asked him a simple question and he passed the test. He didn't tell me what actually is, but how he wanted it to be. How he wants it to be, how he desires it to be, is how he spoke it. He didn't reflect to me what may actually be happening in reality. And we got to move from living in reality to living in the spirit realm, where it is what it is. What is it? Whatever we desire it to be. Thank you for that. And you made a mention to me being a cool drink of fresh water. That's why this ministry is called Oasis Spiritual Center. That was intentionally given to me in the spirit. The ministry used to be called Dominion Ministries. Then the source had me in 2020, shift the name to Oasis Spiritual Center, because we have to go to the well. Now, some of us, there's a biblical story where the children of Israel was told to go back to the wells and redig them, because everything that you need is already in you. You just have to get rid of the stuff that has clogged your wells. That's a little extra this morning, value added. But we thank you, Brother Amir, for those words that are affirming to all of us, to all of our ears. And may you continue to have a wonderful day and a glorious life. All right?
Ashe. Thank you, my brother.
Ashe. Thank you. Good. Sister Bessie, I see your hand is up. Okay, I'm going to unmute it. I don't know if has been up the entire time. If you're there and you have something you want to say, go ahead, Sister Bessie. You have the mic. You just have to unmute yourself.
You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really grateful for the message this morning. I don't know what's going on with my phone, because I had a little time getting in, but I thank God I was able to get in. This is very enlightening. Some of it is a review and some of it is new, what you're saying. So my thing is that we just have to keep pushing forward. And like you said, life and death lies in the power of the tongue, because a lot of things that we say, we just shut it all down, even before we give God the chance to manifest it.
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad you stuck around. I'm glad you persevered and got in this morning.
Yes, so am I.
And I decree that things are well with you.
They are.
Excellent.
It's working out when it appears not working out.
That's right. Even when things don't appear to be working out, things have already worked out. Yes. That's good. That's good.
Have a good one.
Awesome. Likewise. I see your hand up, Mom, and I'm going to come right back to you, Peaceful. You had a question. What steps can we take to hold the feeling until the manifestation? I'm going to come back to that. Good. Mom, you have the mic. Again, we want to say happy birthday to you as you celebrated your 87th solar return on the 22nd. You got the mic.
Can you hear me?
You got the mic. I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, all. This teaching was very, very good, very enlightening to me. Well, I've been standing on the words and listening to you on Zoom, on anything, and in my mind. But I want to do this. I want to thank all of you all for your well wishes on my birthday. I had a wonderful birthday, a wonderful birthday. I had my little great granddaughter come over with a bouquet of flowers. She's 3, full of money, and sat in my walker while I took pictures and kissed her. And another thing, I had 2 calls that I really wasn't expecting. Brother Al and Sister Dorothy. They called me. That's a blessing. That's a blessing to have people. I got text messages, but somebody I hadn't talked to in quite a while. Oh, I'm telling you, my day was made. My whole day was wonderful. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I didn't do anything yesterday but sit here and eat and look out the window. That's
Awesome.
all. Yes. And I'm blessed. I am blessed. Everything, not some things, everything is working out for me. And
Yes.
and I thank you. I thank you, Pastor Greg. And
Thank you.
love and likeness to all of you all.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And everything is always working out for you. Good deal. And we stand in agreement with that. Good. The word says that your latter days will be better than your former days. So if it's been good, it's going to get gooder. Come on now. So we know that the word tells us that our latter days will be, or your tomorrow or your today, which is a latter day, will always be better than yesterday if you're open to receive. So here's a question that I got over here on, let me move it over here to the YouTube channel. I'm looking through here. Good to see all of you all. Peaceful asks, what steps can be taken to hold the feeling until manifestation? Great question. Now, let me try to answer it with here's an example I have, okay? Words are like orders to the universe, okay? Especially when they're spoken with the same frequency. Remember I said that earlier. When you feel what you what you desire, then you know there's a match, okay? Now, here's an example. Say you want to manifest a loving partnership. You allow the warmth, safety, excitement, contentment of having your perfect partner. Whatever will come with having a perfect partner, you begin to imagine that, okay? Right at this moment, fill your entire mind. Like if you're going to manifest a car, you may go to a lot of times people have to go to the dealership, sit in the car, but you can go to the dealership in your mind. So I do this frequently for whatever I want to, everything I have truly desired that I believe represented my highest and greatest good in my life, I've been able to manifest it. And one of the things I do is go into the silence. I go into the quietness. Now, before I seek to manifest something, I try to spend time identifying, does this serve my highest and greatest good? Because if you don't do that, you'll have a life filled with things that your sensory self desired, and the law works even on those things. You have the wrong man in your life, or it may be the right man at the wrong time, or the right woman at the wrong time, because you manifested it at a time when you weren't ready for. God desires to give you whatever you desire, but you have to know, is the timing right in this realm for that? Okay. So I get quiet. I get clear on what it is I desire. So once I'm clear and I know this is the thing that I desire because it just feels good to me, and not just today, but for a season, before I go to creating, I want to make sure this is truly what I want. And it's just not an incidental. Okay. And once I'm clear, this is what I desire, I take it into the silence. And let's say y'all use the car. I like Mercedes. So I will close my eyes. I will visualize, not me watching myself walk up to the Mercedes dealership, walk into the door, get in the car. I will be present. I will walk into the dealership in my imagination from the I amness of who I am, seeing through my eyes, not looking from a place of imagining, but you get into that person and that space. You bring it into the now. So I walk into the dealership. I know that as I walk in the door, I see the host there. I greet them, shake hands with them. I feel the air condition on this warm day, very cool. And you say, how can I help you? Well, I'm here today. I'm looking for a Mercedes. Give me the opportunity to walk around and look around. And he'll say to me, take your time. What's your name, sir? Oh, Mr. Stan. Mr. Stan, take your time. I am Mr. Smith. When you've seen the vehicle that meets your needs, just flag me down and we'll start that conversation. Thank you, sir. I walk through, I see the red Mercedes, two-door. That's not me. I ultimately come to the blue Mercedes with 4 doors. It's a S500. Ooh, my favorite car. I reach the door. I pull the handle. It opens. I sit in the car. It sucks me into the seat. I close the door. I'm in a sound vacuum. I'm looking at the dash and I see, ooh, new features. What is this? What is that? I flag down the guy there. He comes over, Mr. Smith. He gets in the car. He opens the door, closes the door. It sounds like a vacuum. His voice is so clear inside of this car. He begins to go through the features. As he touched the features, I see the illumination. I hear it. So that's an example. So you you visualize. Not from a place afar, but as that thing, in the now. These are the exercises you go to. And most of us can't hold the exercise. So here's an exercise I give people. Climb the ladder. There's a ladder before you go to sleep at night. Climb the ladder. The ladder has 40 steps. When you lay down, visualize the ladder. Climb the ladder. When you make it to the top of the ladder, you now master the art of imagining to sleep. Most of us will fall asleep before we get anywhere near the top of the ladder. You take your time. I'm going to give you that ladder exercise in the very near future. When we go into our manifestation course, I'm gonna do that. So what I'm saying to you is the steps to hold the feeling of manifestation. Once you do that, once you have solidified, affirmations are a part of that. Between the time of it coming from the unseen to the seen, when you begin to, sometimes you might feel like, I wonder when, that's when you pull your affirmation in. Because if you stay in the land of wonder, then you're going to wander away from the frequency. But the moment you feel a contrasting or think a contrasting thought that keeps coming back, not just one time, but it keeps coming back, man, I wonder when, or I got to ask again. No, you don't have to ask again. You have to have an affirmation. You affirm, it affirmed that it's already done. Affirmed that you have it. So you create affirmations that you carry with you, that when you have these contrasting thoughts, you pull that affirmation out and you take that affirmation into meditation. The meditation can be as you're walking, or awakened meditation, while you're walking, while you're doing some of that work. And sometimes you can create your affirmations in a tape, and that way you can play them. Like when I'm feeling somewhat anxious, when I'm feeling uneasy, I will just go to Abraham Hicks, things are always working out for me. That 13 minute, I have it on my phone. I cut it on and I'll sit there and I'll maybe typing at work, whatever I'm doing, I'm hearing it. Things are always working out for me. And eventually the anxiety begins to go down and my vibrational frequency begins to rise and I'm feeling good. So you got to keep that feeling. All right. I can't go into the depth of that at this time, but stay tuned. I'm doing a manifestation course this fall, and it's going to be probably about a 2-month manifestation course for those who not just getting information, but give you opportunity for application too. All right. So I hope I gave you a little something that will help you peace for one. All right. Erica, how are you doing? Teresa, good to see you. Majestic, I think Journey said, it's the feeling that gets the blessing. Yes. When you lose that feeling, you lose the blessing. Okay, awesome. That's all I have for you guys this morning. It's 10:03 and I got to get to my next destiny. Here's the thing. If this ministry has been a blessing to you, be a blessing to it. The law of wealth is this. You keep money moving. You keep things, you keep giving. I'll give you an example. Last night, I turned the corner as I was coming into my place. There's a gentleman who's around, who's a homeless guy. I see him all the time. He kind of like is not in his right mind, but I make it my business to when he's open to it, I can sense it. I'll speak to him. One day I asked him his name. He said his name was Duran. I said, how you doing, Duran? He said, I'm doing well. And he went from a apparently state of madness or lostness to being present. He answered my questions. So now he knows me. He knows my car. So when I was driving in last night into my building, he was sitting on the ground. And as I turned the corner, he saw me and he raised his hand as to wave, but I know he was kind of asking for something. I turned the corner, I kept going. When I got into my space, I got a cool bottle of water, not just out the faucet, but I paid good money for this water, a 33-ounce bottle. And I got $5 and I took it down outside to him and gave it to him. And he looked at me. And it was people on the street who were looking at me because they saw that I deliberately and intentionally brought him that way. Why? Because you never know. You may be entertaining angels unaware. In addition to that, except for the grace of God, there go I. And see, sometimes we don't understand that when God's source blesses you, it's not just for your four and no more. He blesses you. It blesses you that you can have an overflow. I had more than one bottle. So it's easy for me to take a bottle to him. I had more than $5. So it's easy for me to take $5 to him because this is what I say. Money goes out, money comes in. Water goes out, water, whatever you want, give it away. So this morning I'm saying, if you want to be a blessing to this ministry, I'm not making this appeal because of need or greed. I'm making this appeal that I may open up a portal for those of you who want to see the wealth flow in your life at a greater way. You got to release some to get some. Go to the website, www.oasisspiritualcenter.com. Go over to the giving tab. You can type on the giving tab, and then you'll find how to give cash. You can go by Cash App. You can text to give. You can give by PayPal. You can give by our Tidely app. That's all I'm going to say. Thank those of you who continue to give and be a blessing to this ministry. So that's all I have this week. Be blessed. I will go through, edit this, and put it out on the YouTube channel and get it to those of you who are on my mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you'll get all 4 parts. So you have the complete series. Have a wonderful day. And we're going to leave with what we started with, the song by the Tommy James and the Shondells. And the song was entitled Crystal Blue Persuasion. It's a new day coming. Enjoy it.
Over yonder, what do you see? The sun is rising, most definitely. It's a new vibration, crystal blue persuasion, crystal persuasion. Maybe tomorrow, when he looks